Welcome back, toy fans, to episode 143 of Reynolds Reviews. And on today's episode, I'm going head to head with Monkey Boy. Cue the march. Welcome back, everyone. Now, like I said in the intro, today I am going head to head with our Dave from Monkey Boy's Toys. Now, Dave and myself are huge mask fans and huge mask collectors, and today we are going to count down our top 5 favourite mask vehicles. But we are not going to decide who's got the best top 5. You, the viewers, are going to decide. So what I want you to do, if at the end of the video you feel like you want to leave a comment, what I want you to do at the end of your comment, just put hashtag Reynolds or hashtag Monkey Boy to let us know who you feel has the best top 5 vehicles. And then what I'm going to do at the end of the week, I'm going to tot up the answers, look at the totals, see who's won, and then put a community post out giving the results. And if I've won, Dave's got to send me a little mask related gift. And if Dave's won, I've got to send him one. So let's jump straight in and see which vehicles we've picked. Okay, so in at my number 5 is Cliff Dagger and Jackhammer. Now, I am going to fly through these because we've got a lot of vehicles to get through. So if you're looking for a thorough review, I'm sorry everyone, I am going to fly through them, but I love Jackhammer and Cliff Dagger. So we've got Cliff Dagger there and his torch mask, which is the short mask. And then we've got his black Ford Bronco Jackhammer. And I absolutely love this as a vehicle. Just so cool, so big and bulky and really sort of menacing looking. And then this turned into an assault vehicle. And there it is in assault mode. And look at that, man. I used to love this in the cartoon. So the top pivots, Cliff Dagger now in the top on the turret or on the aircraft gun. We've got the bonnet that comes up to shield the windscreen, and then we've got twin machine guns that pop in and out as you drive. So absolutely love Jackhammer, always have. Cliff Dagger is one of my favourite characters as well. But yeah, Cliff Dagger and Jackhammer is in at number 5. Over to you, Monkey Boy.
Just trickling milky flounders. Thanks very much, Luke. Now, my number 5 pick was probably the hardest decision I've ever had to make, because basically any of the vehicles could have made the cut, but I've had to choose one. So,
Monkey Boy, what are you doing?
Skeletor, I'm doing a top 5 mask vehicle review for Luke's channel.
Ah, Luke, I like his channel.
Yeah, well, so do I, Skeletor, so why don't you leave us alone, let me get on with it. He's not going to put up with your nonsense. Right, sorry about that, guys. So yes, here it is, my number 5 pick, the Bulldog, otherwise known as Bulldoze. I mainly like it because of its heft. It fits nicely in the hand and it's nice and weighty, so it's the ideal thing to throw at burglars. I also like the very violent and drastic transformation into this weaponized monstrosity. So yeah, the Bulldog is my number 5 pick. Over to you, Luke, and let's see what your number 4 is.
And here we go. So in at number 4 is Rhino. And I know I can hear you all shouting already, how has Rhino only made number 4? I know there's just too many good vehicles and too many good choices. But one of the few vehicles that came with 2 figures. So we've got Matt Tracker with his Ultra Flash mask, and we've got Bruce Sato with his lifter mask. But how beautiful is Rhino as a truck? It's a big rig truck. I mean, I've got to admit, this is probably the best example I've ever seen. I've been so lucky with this. The chrome is amazing. All the stickers are fantastically bright and still intact. And I was so lucky. I mean, this is the best Rhino I've ever seen. And I was so lucky to be gifted this by Andy over at the Holo Chronicles only last Christmas. And it is beautiful. I've never, ever seen a better one than this. Yeah, so again, thank you, Andy. It's amazing. But Rhino turns into a mobile defence unit. And there we go. So all transformed. As you can see, mobile defence unit. We've got a little control room just in the back there with a big missile and missile silo. Alex Sector is usually found in there. But I get so nervous transforming Rhino because it's so fragile. I always worry about these exhausts transforming into guns. I always think I'm going to catch the wing mirrors. They break off so easy, but it's an amazing vehicle. Battering ram at the front, and then the back detaches as well for like a little mobile almost like little mobile vehicle, escape vehicle, I guess. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. So Rhino is in at number 4. Over to you, Dave.
Thanks for that, Luke. Well, my pick for number 4 will be Honeycomb Pegasus. Let's just move her hair out of the way so that you can see. Oh no, sorry, wrong toy line. Sorry about that, my fault. My pick for number 4 will be Firefly. Now, I always liked this little vehicle. It's sort of a racing dune buggy type thing. It was always quite nippy. Did enjoy this one. I liked the transformation, how the wings popped out and the front just flips open and leaves us with quite a neat looking flying vehicle. One of the better looking flying vehicles in the line, if I'm honest. So yeah, I always did enjoy this one. So that one is going to be my pick for number 4. Let's have a look and see what Luke's got for number 3.
Okay, and in at number 3, again, might surprise some people, but we've got Matt Tracker with Spectrum Mask and Thunderhawk. Now, again, this guy's the leader of masks, so again, you could probably class this as a bit of a flagship vehicle, a very, very recognisable vehicle. So this is a red Chevrolet Camaro Z28, and just an amazing vehicle. Didn't get a huge amount of love when I was a kid, because I think some people thought that the transformation was too basic, but this transforms into a fighter jet. And there we go, so very simple transformation. There's a button on the top, you press, the doors come up, act as wings, we pull the door cannons out. But just such an amazing vehicle. Like I say, probably one of the most recognisable, along with vehicles like Rhino. Spoiler comes up at the back, we've got some thrusters there. But yeah, absolutely beautiful vehicle. Like I say, probably the most recognisable as well. So yeah, in at number 3 is Matt Tracker with Spectrum Mask and Thunderhawk. Back to you, Dave.
Cheers for that, Luke. Well, my pick for number 3 is going to be Jackhammer.
I like that one as well.
Get out, Skeletor. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so the Jackhammer was one of my favourites, although I didn't actually own this growing up. Some friends did. And I always liked this one because of its sort of chunky appearance. It's a nice Ford Bronco 4x4. And what I particularly liked about this vehicle was that, unlike some of the other mask vehicles that were a bit flimsy when they were transformed, this one remained looking chunky and looking like it meant business. Mine's a little bit stiff at the front, but if I can just pop the front up and then pop the back up, as you can see, it's still a formidable looking vehicle when transformed, and that really appealed to me. So yeah, that's going to be my number 3 pick. Let's see what Luke picked for number 2.
Okay, so we'll get into the money end now. So in at number 2, and it might surprise some people, but if it does, it shouldn't, because I have mentioned this vehicle before, is Ace Riker and Slingshots. I love Slingshot. Absolutely think it's an amazing vehicle. How many vehicles, sort of camper vans or RVs, did you see like this in any toy line when you were a kid? I love it. And Slingshot was driven by Ace Riker, so let's just take a look at Ace Riker. There he is with his very cool Sherpa jacket, and Ace Riker wore Ricochet mask. But Slingshot as a vehicle I loved. I remember my parents buying me this when I was a kid, and I remember thinking, well, why would I want to play with a camper van? And then I unpacked it, and look at this, just amazing. Cruising 1986. I remember thinking I wanted it to have transparent windows, but of course then if it did, you'd see what was inside, and there's not much illusion there, is there? Illusion wouldn't be the ultimate weapon then. But look at this, just such an amazing vehicle. And this used to open up into a surveillance unit with a sonic jet. And there we go, man, look at that. I mean, don't tell me, oh, we forgot to put the guns out. Don't tell me that is not the coolest vehicle going. So then you would move it back and forwards, and the sonic jet would spin, and then it would fire out and attack any vehicles on land as well, but also in the air. I mean, how wicked is that? So cool. So yeah, Slingshot, he really, I mean, I cannot sort of speak highly enough of this vehicle. It probably wouldn't make a lot of people's top 5. Personally, I love it. I just think it's such a cool vehicle. You didn't see many camper vans in toy lines back in the day, but that design, that red sort of orange and yellow chevron slashes on the side, just sold it for me as a kid. So yeah, absolutely love Slingshot. So that is in at number 2. Back to you, Dave.
Very much, Luke. Well, we can hear my number 2 pick coming in now, and many of you will already guess what it is. It is, of course, the Switchblade. Now, I really liked this toy as a child. I actually received it in 1986, although it was released in 1985. My parents gave me this for my birthday, and I absolutely loved it. I really find the transformation incredibly satisfying. The way the wings pop out when you pop the tail fin in is just very satisfying indeed. That noise was to be heard all around my house all the time. I absolutely love this vehicle. It's fantastic in helicopter mode. It's fantastic in jet fighter mode. There's not really much more you can say about it, really. This almost made my number 1 pick, but as it is, it's number 2 on the list. So let's see what Luke has got for number 1.
Okay, and in at number 1, no surprise to anyone, I'm sure, is Miles Mayhem with Viper Mask and Switchblade. Now this, again, I mean, this is number 1 for a few reasons, really. 1, I just love the vehicle. 2, it was lovingly restored and repaired and sent to me as a birthday gift by our VTR Dave, and it is connected to a very strong happy childhood memory for me. So this was always going to be number 1, and like I say, no surprise, I'm sure. But we've got Miles Mayhem, and then of course we've got his Viper Mask. But of course the star of the show is Switchblade. So this is a helicopter that transforms to a fighter jet. Now, again, some of my friends when we were young weren't massively keen on this because they didn't like the fact that it was an airborne vehicle that turned into another airborne vehicle. So a lot of them are mask vehicles. You've got land vehicles that turn into water vehicles or turn into air vehicles and then back to land again, whereas this was 2 airborne vehicles. So some people didn't like this, but how can you not? Look at how beautiful it is. Obviously, you always got to be careful with these buttons. They do tend to break. Dave has reinforced mine. And then, of course, you've got the propellers. Obviously, my hand is going to stop it. There we go. But this turned into a fighter jet. And there he is in jet mode. Now, how awesome is that? So, Miles Mayhem in the cockpit. And any self-respecting kid in the 80s, who cares that this is 2 airborne vehicles? Just look at it. Wow. So, quite difficult to display when it's in the jet mode, though, because it's quite big. You can, I mean, obviously the landing gear should be where it is, but you can pop the landing gear back down and just sit it like that. But my God, I love Switchblade. Absolutely love it. So yeah, in at number 1, no surprises, is Miles Mayhem and Switchblade.
Thanks very much, Luke. Well, that just remains for me to show you my number 1 pick. And it is, of course, Dynamo. I'm only joking. It is, in fact, Raven. Now, I loved this toy as a kid. Not only is it the same car that Face used to drive in the A-Team, but it's also reminiscent of Kit from Knight Rider. I really did like this vehicle as a kid. It wasn't the first one that I bought, but it was the one that sparked my imagination the most. I loved the look of it in its street mode, and the transformation was very satisfying. Just the way that the bonnet or the hood flips round like this is just fantastic. So yeah, really love this one. I can't think of Mask without thinking of this vehicle. So for me, this would be my number 1 in my top 5 Mask vehicles.
And there we go. So I've got 3 honourable mentions, and I just couldn't let this list go by without just pointing out these vehicles, because there's just so many amazing vehicles in Mask. Too many good ones to do a comprehensive top 5, so I've had to make some really difficult decisions. So I just want to mention 3 more vehicles, though, that I absolutely love. So we've got Bruno's Shepherd with Magna Beam Mask and Stinger, so an amazing GTO. Look at that GTO that turns into a land tank. Amazing vehicle. We've then got Raven with Calhoun Burns and Gulliver Mask, and Raven is a Chevy Corvette that turns into an armed seaplane, also a sub as well. And then of course we've got the absolutely beautiful Manta, very, very kindly gifted to me by Dean over at All Things 80s. It's absolutely minty new with Vanessa Warfield and Whip Mask. Now, these are just amazing vehicles, they really are. Manta turns into an assault plane. I'm going to give these a transformation quickly, but then we're going to wrap up. And there we go, so all transformed. We've got Stinger in land tank mode, we have got Raven in seaplane mode, and we have got the beautiful Manta in assault plane mode. Amazing vehicles, didn't quite make the top 5, but just felt they needed mentioning, so absolutely love them. I really do. They're very, very close to making the top 5, but just felt they needed to be mentioned. Back to you, Monkey Boy.
Now, aside from my top 5, I do have some honourable mentions, the first of which being Slingshot. Now, I really like this vehicle. Again, it had a nice satisfying transformation, looked very cool, a nice vehicle all round, land and air assault. But I mainly liked this vehicle because of the figure that came with it, Ace Riker. And the reason I liked him was because of his sheepskin coat. So let's remove that. The next honourable mention I have is the Hurricane. Now, this is the one I had since I was a child. And the 57 Chevy is just a classic car. Looks amazing. It's one of the best looking vehicles in the line. And also the factory applied decals were fantastic. These flames on the side really do make it pop. So yeah, really enjoyed that one. And then my third and final honourable mention, well, we can't talk about Mask really unless we talk about the Rhino. And yeah, there's not really much more to say about that really, but it's Rhino, isn't it? So it had to be in there somewhere. So yeah, that will be my third honourable mention. I'll hand it back to Luke now to finish off the video. See ya. Bye.
So there we go, everyone. So those are our choices. Now, like I said in the intro, what I want you to do is jump into the comments. If you want to leave a comment, just at the end of your comment, put hashtag Reynolds or hashtag Monkey Boy to show who is your favourite top 5. So base your decision on our top 5 choices, not our honourable mentions. And then at the end of the week, I'll tot up the answers. Whoever has got the most votes wins, and the loser has to send the other guy a mask-related gift. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed it this week. If you don't know Monkey Boy's channel, everyone, check out his channel. Amazing channel. I will leave a link in the description below. Give him some love. I know he'll appreciate your support. But yeah, there we go. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by and giving me a shot. I hope you'll consider leaving a like and subscribing. And if you're one of my existing viewers and existing subscribers, thank you for sticking with me, everyone. I really do appreciate it. Leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. I always try to read everyone's comments and get back to everybody. And as always, keep collecting. I'll see you next time.